I'm Shawn Ray here with teenage phenom bodybuilder back in the day, way back in the day, Jorge Batencourt. George, tell us a little bit about your bodybuilding career. It's kind of a where are they now, because for a little while there, you were hot and heavy on the scene back in the early 90s. Then you dropped off. Apparently you got married, had some kids, started a supplement company. But let's go back to where it all began for you as a bodybuilder.
Oh, it's been such a long time and the story's so long. I'll give you little pieces. I started working out when I was 9 years old, actually. I started experimenting with weights, but it wasn't until I was 14 where I really started a training program that I really stuck to. My 14 I started, and the day that I started, I told myself through reading the magazines that I read that it takes 3 months to see any type of real results. So I gave myself 3 months with this program, and after 3 months I saw some results, and then after that I set another goal of 6 months, and saw the results after that, and then I was hooked after that.
Right. Well, Florida's rich in its prosperity with teenage bodybuilders. I came up in the game with one Eddie Robinson, who also was one of the phenomenal bodybuilders out of the Florida, Clearwater, Florida area. But by the time I had graduated, you were kind of coming up in the game. Tell us a little bit about that teenage career coming out.
Well, you know, as a teenager, I always looked in the magazines. I was always trying to find teenage bodybuilding, but it was rarely covered. I don't know why teenage bodybuilding has never really been covered. It's something that I've always wanted to give back to the sport. Right. You know, I looked up to guys up like you, Eddie Robinson, Shane DeMora, Frank Santarelli. Oh my goodness, great. I looked up to all you guys, but it was very rare, man. So, and it kind of bothered me that I always had to read the magazine, and it was always a former Mr. Olympia that I had to read of, or Mr. America, or Mr. USA. So that's why I've always been so involved in the sport, because I've always feel that this teenage stuff has never really been covered, and that's why I've always kind of stayed involved in it to give back to the sport, you know, to the sport that at that time was so good to me.
You got some instant credibility by winning the teenage national championships. What did that feel like for you back in that time?
You know, it was exciting, man, because the year before the teen nationals, I competed in the Teen USA against Dennis Newman.
Right.
Dennis Newman won the heavyweight, and I won the lightweight class, and he beat me for the overall by 1 point. I was 17 years old, and he was 19, actually. I was 17 years old. It was my third competition. And he beat me, and I had heard that the following year the nationals would be held, I think it was in Texas or something, in Pittsburgh. So
Kevin Levrone won that one.
That's right. That's right. So I remember getting out of the Teen USA. I was super happy because I won my weight class. At that point, I wasn't going to make a career out of bodybuilding. I wasn't, you know, I didn't know where I was going, but I knew that I was good at it. So I gave myself a full year to train for the Teen Nationals. I trained like you wouldn't. I trained harder than anybody in the whole country. I made sure that I was training harder than anyone, because I had a lot of kids that were competing at that time. I think it was like 100 and something teenagers I was competing against. So I trained so focused for a full year. I made sure that every set counted, every rep counted, every meal counted, every night sleeping counted, and I did that for a full year. And winning was amazing. I knew when I got on stage, I still remember vividly to this day, being on stage and knowing that I was going to win.
Well, that's what kind of put you on the map. You went on to compete in the Nationals and the USA Championships, took some time out to become a father and a husband and a company owner of your nutrition line. And where are you at today and things? You're not competing anymore. You had a couple injuries that you had to overcome.
Oh, plenty of injuries, but I don't want to get into that.
Will we ever see you back on a bodybuilding stage again?
You know, Shawn, it still haunts me. You know, it's a part of my life that I didn't get to close off completely, but I'm happy where I'm at right now, you know, because I'm still involved in this industry. You know, I get to speak with people like you. I get to see all my old bodybuilder friends, and that's why I stayed involved in the industry, because, you know, this was a dream for me, just like it was a dream for you. That's why I'm sure you're involved in this industry too, you know, and you love traveling around the world and seeing your old buddies. I mean, just come on. You know, you have friends in Russia, just like I have friends in California. That's cool, you know.